Good day, everyone. Welcome to another study session. We'll continue our range interaction series, playing from out of position. We're going to move to deep stack poker. So we've spent some time on 40 big blind and 20 big blind. Today, we're going to venture into the waters of deep stack poker playing out of position with a wide gap between us opening under the gun and getting flattened by the button 100 big blinds deep. So let's take a look at an example, and then we'll dive into some of the theory here in a moment. Jack 6-6, pocket queens. Is this a good board for our hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but
For
we're gonna
range
protect our
also is
checking
good.
range a bit here.
Oh, sorry. What was that, Larry?
Sorry, I said we're probably gonna check our protect our checking range here, especially on a paired board where when we're this deep, reverse implied odds are important. So there's gonna be some checking here.
No queen of spades. There's definitely going to be some checking. Saeed, what do you want to say?
Yeah, same thing.
All right. So we're getting behind. So if you check, are you planning to check raise these queens?
No.
But I mean,
In game, I think I mostly bet.
All right.
I think you can do
I
either.
would bet like 66 to 75%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can do either, and I think the paired board is
No.
gonna drive down the sizing.
Very 50-50 and only betting small. All right. So this is a good time to peel off the rail and take a look at a little bit of the theory behind some of this deep stack play.
Can I redeem myself a little bit on my terrible sizing?
Sure.
I like to bet bigger because in general, a lot of people that have pocket pair, like any pocket pair, is gonna call a lot. So I want to get value.
All right. So let's first take a look at what our opponent is calling with here. So on this board, how often are they going to have a 6? So we take a look here. We go
Not
here.
so many.
5% of the time, they're going to have flopped a set or full house. So
Yeah,
95% of the time, you're going to, not really run into stuff. So it's going to be good a lot. But when you do run into stuff, big betting is going to be troublesome. And like that's why we see there's just not a lot of big betting here. Right? Our opponent's range is protected by all of these hands that they should flat at a pretty good frequency. So they're going to have pretty good board coverage between 4 and 7, where our under the gun range is really going to lack that part of the board coverage. So,
yeah, I think what happens when you're this deep on a paired board is that in theory, you just don't want to get stacked. So any kind of situation where villain has the nuts more, it's going to drive down sizing out of position.
yeah. So we can see that as we take a look kind of across the ranges, ace with another Broadway, there is a fair amount of betting, and it is a little bit bigger sizing. Again, once we fall down in ace and 9 and under, the sizing gets smaller. We see that repeated in the kings. King with another Broadway, even a 9, wants to go a little bit bigger. And king small, bet small. Queen with another Broadway, again, we see that type of behavior again. Queen with small cards, betting small. So there's kind of this easy pattern to pick up. The more connected two high cards are, we start to have a little bit of sizing up. As it gets lower and lower, we use smaller and smaller sizes. Once we kind of come down to the 9 threshold, the big bet really starts to disappear and checking becomes much more frequent. When we filter this a little bit, we take a look at, well, first of all, I'll take a look at the global strategy. So global strategy, 58% check, 33% small bet, a little bit of medium bet, not a lot of big bet. When we change the texture of the boards to specifically rainbow, we see that our checking frequency comes down below 50%, and we are betting both sizes much more frequently. So our opponent is going to flat lots of suited hands, and suited hands are not going to do as well on rainbow boards. So we see that we have a much more polar strategy on rainbow boards with low cards, and a much higher frequency of just betting small with high card boards. When we filter it out a little bit differently, taking a look at the flush draws, our checking frequency moves up to 63%. Our sizing comes down a lot. We are not using our big bet size very much. We're betting small and infrequently. We have some connected boards where we're going to have some sizing up, but all of the king 8 and lower is going to be very small sizing, right? So just a lot of small sizing on flush draw boards. A lot of caution is needed to not get stacked. And then let's take a look at paired boards. So when we take a look at paired boards, paired aces, generally good, we're betting. Paired other broadways, we're betting a lot. There's this valley here, starting with 8s paired, 7s paired, 6s paired, 5s paired. That is the part of the range where our opponent's going to have a lot of the suited connectors and suited kings, that we're going to struggle to cover that part of the range. And so we're going to kind of see that dip in the kings here. We see that swoon again. Down here in the queens, we see that swoon. And so we can see that there's a part of the range that our hands played from out of position and early position don't really want to get involved with very frequently. Really high check back spots on 7s, 6s, and 5s particularly. So let's delve back into the solver and see what type of shenanigans we can get into. All right, so either betting small or checking is just fine here. This hand is very strong, even though the board is not great for our hand. All right, pretty safe card. We're still in the bucket of way ahead or way behind. Do we want to open up the hand?
If the opponent needs to call a lot, why aren't we just blasting? Because they're just going to call anyway.
Why aren't we just blasting?
Yeah, aren't we missing out on value? Like, we can play a 2-street game here, right?
Well, because we don't want to get stacked by his 6s, right?
Yeah, like
there's a risk of ruin, right?
The bigger we bet, the more we're going to fall into the spider web of trouble, right? Like we can't really disincentivize him from calling with a flush draw with these huge implied odds behind hand. So let's take a look at what we are going to do. So is this a spot where you want to go like 200% pot mints?
We bet small. He called.
Yeah.
No, I think 200% pot is too big.
Okay. Because there's lots of draws.
I think like 83 or 125.
Okay.
I think 83. Yeah,
83 is perfect sizing here.
yeah. Especially, I think these days, like
Mhm.
c-bet, most of the people call. I think 83, maybe we get the job done, but we still call it. Now we have to be very careful.
All right. Is this the one click hand? Are we going all in, Vince?
I think no. I think I want to bet a size that like a jack might cry call here.
It's like 61.
So I think I'm going to continue with the 86.
Okay.
Sometimes I think I check here to kind of do some plan a call. If I check, I'm 100% calling.
Yeah, so
Before you
you're
click. Oh,
Mhm.
I was gonna say, before you click the button, I'm just curious for the bet 86ers, what happens if you get raised? What's the plan if you get raised? And I'm not asking this to be cute, like rhetorical. I'm seriously curious. Like I'm trying to figure out how much I would call if I got raised.
I think if he clicks it, I'm just going to call. And if he rips it in, I'll fold.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the same answer.
Okay.
when I take a look at how often someone raises the river and I'm good, it's very low.
Right.
If I bet 86 here and someone finds more chips than I put in, I mean, this is pretty high up in range, but I'm folding a lot of stuff.
But that's actually a little curious. Like and I don't want to like belabor this one exact note or whatever, but if it's a click back call, but if it's a rip fold, but aren't rips more likely to be bluffs than a click back, which is almost always value?
It can be bluff or it can be a big value. He wants to get the call with the 6, so if it's a bluffing, good for him, good bluff.
I mean, in theory, the bigger the bet, the more there should be bluffs to value.
Exactly. Yeah.
We still could be a bit ahead of a bit of his value though, if he has a hand like ace jack or jacks and eights, thinking that that's good, right? So we're still ahead of a little bit of value on the value spectrum. So 86 is a wonderful answer, right? Just going for pretty big value here, right? And I mean, if you're putting in this many chips, I mean, it's going to be hard to fold if you do find the overbet size here. Calls
Can we
two
take a
straight.
look?
Sure.
Or just I'm just wondering what hands we get raised on at any amount that villain has.
Sure. So his strategy facing our bet on the river is he rips all his 6x. He rips his straight. He rips his full house.
Value.
Jack 8. So that was the
Yeah.
counterfeit 2 pair.
Okay.
9-10 is a bluff. Brick spades. Full house with jacks. He has the other 2 queens once in a while. Full
Ace
house.
king, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of
But
ace king,
bluff.
ace
A
queen
little bit
here.
of pocket twos, but like
Little bit
it's
of pocket
very
twos.
value dominant.
Yeah, a little bit of pocket 5s, pocket 7s.
And that's
Right.
what you fold to the rip, right? Like he's basically very value heavy.
Yeah, right. If we look at it, he has half, 7, 8, 9, 10, over pair, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right. He has 14% over pair or better and 7% bluffs. Right. So 9-7, 10-7, 10-9. Right? He's got a little bit of that.
And
And a bunch of
okay.
his folded.
And raise is 0. It's just it's jam or
Yeah.
jam call or fold. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right on. Thanks.
So yeah, so we do get 2 good streets of value out of pocket nines here.
That's kind of why I wanted to go big, and then
Big.
evaluate
Big,
later.
Big. All right, so we're gonna have lots of opportunity to find some big bets this deep, that's for sure.
Uh-huh.
All right, paired jack with an ace, king 7. Are we leading, and if so, at what frequency?
I think this mixes. I would guess like maybe a 60-40, 60 check.
Okay. Rainbow board. We're not really afraid.
Yeah, we have a big range advantage too, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, our opponent has more junk. They've got more suited connectors, more board coverage on the lower part. So our range is a little more constructed. So I'm going to go with 75% bet, 25% check.
I think it's the other way. 75.
Oh,
check.
you're right. 60-40. So let's take a quick peek here at this paired jack board with an ace. Globally 50-50. Our hand specifically is not doing it. We want to have a 9. And we want to have a queen.
So Peter, is there generally a heuristic that paired boards will drive down sizing?
Yep, for sure. That's an element of it, right? It's the pocket aces, or sorry, pocket, well, this is a bad board because there's an ace there, but like, say this board is king, jack, jack. Pocket aces are way ahead or way behind, right?
Yeah.
And so it just generally drives down size. Right? Flush draw boards kind of drive it up. Oh. So we took the bet line and we get this rainbow jack. Or are we just going to try and show down our king high?
I think we probably polarize. 'Cause I think we have the ace advantage a little bit. So I think either polarize or check. I think this polarizing situation.
Okay.
So I think it's like
So-
small free B83 or B125 and big freak check.
Yep. I think this is going to be a very high frequency check. And that's small.
I'm wrong.
So here, like, remember, we have aces and kings. Our opponent doesn't, but our opponent still has really high frequency of pocket queens and tens and stuff. So we want to push our equity just a little bit, right? If a lot of money starts going in the pot, it's not good. So our range, we're going to have a slight range advantage, and it's going to want to just put a few chips in the pot. We'll take a
Wonder
look
what
at the
our
range
ace is
interaction. Sure. So
That's a very
Understood.
interesting line.
yeah, so we haven't emptied our trash bucket. Our opponent has emptied their trash bucket. So at the bottom end of the graph, they are ahead of us. And then we have a ton of similarity in hands. And then we have a tiny advantage that we're pressing with our slightly bigger overpairs, right? When we have aces and they have ace king, right? And so we just want to put a tiny little bit of money in here with our minutia of advantage, even though our opponent actually has the range advantage now, right? Equities have shifted as we have our trash and they have emptied their bucket. So check or bet really small. Yep. All right, and a 5. Brick on the river. I mean, occasionally 3x pot. Mostly just check back.
Who is calling a king high?
Who is calling king high? I mean, I think we have enough pairs and aces to defend that I don't think we need to call a 2/3 pot bet with king high.
Yeah, I think we just fold.
Yeah. So, like, probably pocket sixes and better. Put in some chips. All right. 10-7-2 rainbow. Pocket threes, 100 big blinds deep.
I don't think we're calling with pocket sixes because we block 6-5.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a possibility back here. All right. Rainbow board, we're going to lead more frequently. Does
Yeah, we're
this
gonna
hand
have some
really
underpair
want it?
bluffs here.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit. Mostly a check. Our
now we're
opponent calls. Queen.
now we're in hell.
So, does our opponent float many queens?
He
Yeah,
floats a
queen
lot of
four.
the range to the small c bet on this board, which I think this board might favor him. So my answer is yes.
For sure. He's going to have lots of hands that contain a 10, a 7, right? Lots of incomplete straight draws here, lots of flush draws that didn't pick up any equity. High frequency check, low frequency big bet.
Yeah, agreed. I wants to
You're
go for
big.
it.
Pure whale big.
It wants to turn. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is pretty common that the solver likes to turn these low equity underpairs into bluffs.
So let's take a look first and foremost. How many queens does our opponent get here to the turn with? So their button call against our bets. They folded a few queens, but they still have a bunch of queens here. Right? They're still here with all the 10s and all the 7s. And all the deuces for that matter. But they still have all of this straight draw, backdoor flush draw stuff that's hanging around. They're still out here with a lot of ace high. So our turn is 43% check and never checking with threes. Lots of bigger sizing too. Right, so yeah, here we can see just a really big polarization effect. Right, very frequent 200%, 125, 83. So primarily using the big sizings for our bets. Oh, please don't call. Please don't call. Oh my goodness, he called.
I think this is a give up after two streets.
After two streets, we've punished ourselves enough. Well, look, I mean, we're making 3.893 chips. Like, we're winning here a lot. And he has pocket jacks. All right. Ace Jack. So there's a flush draw on board, a connected to Broadway hand. Backdoor flush, second pair, best kicker. I think I want to check. We have a lot of delayed C bets that we can pick up here.
Yeah, I like a check here. I think it's
But I
going to
mean,
mix some bets, but I like a check.
yeah, the
Small
king.
bet.
Small bet's not going to be bad here.
We can turn a lot of equity.
Yeah.
Yeah, small bet's very competitive on EV. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, this specific combo is more inclined to check, but if you're betting here, this is just fine. Not a great turn card for our hand.
I think we check again with our marginal value.
Mhm.
We
Hey.
check, he check, right?
Yeah, went
Yeah.
check, check.
I think it's gonna be, I don't know. I think it's not gonna check. I think we're gonna bet.
Okay. So it's tough because like if you bet 33 or 55, you're like he's going to be able to figure out the pot odds and call really well with his flush draws, his straight draws, right? He's going to be able to work out the price for his draws pretty well here, which is why it's much more of a check and bet big type of spot. But
Right. Yeah. Check your bet big, I think. But I think maybe 55. I don't know.
okay.
No.
It is betting small.
I think it's small. Yeah.
And it is definitely a value bet. 4 chips. Primarily a check node, though. So it's a spot where we are likely best very frequently. Put a
Boom.
few chips in.
Think it.
Touch on river. Gonna be hard for him to call here. 59.
Yeah, sounds good.
Right? It's a price that 2 pair can call. Maybe a 9
One.
can still raise us even. Is some space that can
131.
bluff us. Check or bet small.
Lots of trapping.
Lots of trapping. King
What
7.
was what was the optimal
Wow,
sizing for the river, or was it a check? I'm sorry, for the turn, was it a check on the turn?
Yeah,
Check
it
or
was,
bet
it
is
was
small.
yeah, it was like 65% check and 30% bet small.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That was weird. He was checking back the top pair.
Mhm. All right. Ace 9-9. How does this board fare for our range?
Definitely not
We
in our
just-
favor.
Yeah, we just saw it, right? Like it's pretty bad. It's
Pretty
crazy.
bad. But it bets a lot.
I
Hmm.
think because we
specific
can turn we can turn equity to the nuts.
The jack, the king, the heart. Yeah. It's pretty good. All right, let's take the bet line. See what type of trouble we get in here. Oh, easy game.
Oh, easy one.
5-3. 5-3 suited. I hope you guys are finding that 5-3 suited flat against under the gun one. All right. Ace 9-4 with a flush draw.
Yeah, so we totally missed, but with range,
Mhm.
I don't know. I think this might be a give up. I think this is so bad. We have no equity. We might just check here.
I think it's check fold. Like,
Check fold. Betting's also
Yeah.
competitive, but the EV is so small. Right?
yeah,
Well,
yeah. Goodbye.
it made
Adios.
life easy for us. Pocket
Nice.
fives
Well,
with a spade. All right. King 4-3. Ooh, this is going to connect well with his suited connectors at the bottom of his range and the flush draws that we don't have. King high boards are good for us, but this is maybe not that good a board. Maybe not that good a board for our hand. I would be very inclined to check this hand, but I know it's going to want to bet it.
I like bet small.
All right.
Okay.
I'm glad that it is checking because I would be in checking mode here. You can see the EV is very competitive here. So it's not really a mistake to make a bet here.
I understand why it wants to check more though. Cause like you said, more linear range interactions.
Yeah. Okay. So we still have lots of value that's better than this. I would be inclined to check this again.
Yeah, I think this is a check as well.
I want to bet.
It's bad. Let's go. All right, checking is fine. Betting's okay. Oh, but when we
Ooh.
check, we face a spicy bet.
Then we're not folding our best 10.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Like-
the check. Oh, wow.
It wants to click it. Nice.
No, yeah.
Oh no, it wants to, oh, it wants us to just go over the top. What the hell? Oh, Solver, you crazy.
Oh, all right. Well, we didn't get here to lie down. Oh, he gives us the milking size. After the pot blast on the turn, he gives us the milky river.
So what are his bluffs? His bluffs are busted. Flush draws. A lot, the wheel got there. But we're
Queen-
blocking the ace two suited. How many
Queen
copies
jack.
of ace two suited are there? There's three ace two suiteds.
Uh-huh.
Two ace.
Four combos of 6-7 as well.
What combo is a 6-7?
Uh-huh.
Our
So-
pot, we gotta be right 27% of the time. I would imagine I imagine we mix here.
Okay.
I think we can overfold to humans, but we mix here.
Yeah. Not having a spade is really good here. We want him to have bluff
Yeah,
spade.
good point.
I think if we have the ace or 10 of spades, this is probably a fold. Oh my
Oh, wow,
goodness.
look
It
at
even
the all
bluffs
in.
it.
Oh, my
All in
God.
with negative EV. Love it.
Negative EV punt. King, queen.
Can
Of
we go back
course.
on this board?
Sure.
Can we go back to the flop? I think you're right that this board's really bad for us. I'm just curious if the range tool tells us that. Like
Sure,
if we go
let's
back
take
to
a
the
look.
very yeah, right there. And then we go to ranges on the next to strategy. Look at that, yeah,
Yeah.
equity,
So it is good, but not great. We
yeah,
have a 57% equity advantage, right? And it's because like it's this element here, right? 13% trash to 31% trash, because the 4 and the 3 kind of fall below everything except the very bottom of his range here.
yeah,
So we still have all the best hands, we still have all the good hands, but the problem is like after, like if we bet and he calls, the equity buckets are gonna flip, right? Once he gets rid of this, it's gonna look very different.
Yeah.
Right.
okay,
So,
thanks.
no problem. If we give it this, we bet 33. He gives it a call. Turn was the turn the 10 of clubs,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so now the 10 is good for us, but we can see the equity lines are much closer now.
Yeah,
We still have the advantage at the top end, but all of the stuff at the bottom is now a little bit of him lapping over us, right? And the trash is much more competitive now, right? We still have all the best hands, but he has lots of good hands and weak hands now.
yeah.
So
The other, I think, takeaway from that hand is that Solver did a good job of protecting its checking range.
yeah, top pair second kicker and didn't get stacked for 100 big blinds.
Yeah.
All right. So top pair, top kicker. Can we get stacked for 100 big blinds this hand?
Yeah, especially if we check raise. So let's check raise.
All
Absolutely
right,
get stacked.
let's see how bad we can make it.
No.
very frequent betting, a little bit of sizing up here on the flush draw board.
Right, that
Oh,
gives
he
a
checks
chance. Oh, it's a nightmare.
back. Well, have we turned this delicious get stacked for 100 big blinds into try to win 7 big blind pot?
Check.
Yeah, I think we check.
A little bit of betting. Checking is just fine. Check, 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 check. Flush completes.
This feels
Should
like a very
have-
much a blocker situation.
Yeah, he shouldn't have a lot of flushes that don't contain a 4 or a king here, though. So I think we're going to go for value. I would bet 77 here.
I think this is blocker sizing because his range is capped as much as our range.
Yeah.
So, but I see your point that we can go for big value, but I would go for blocker sizing. Yeah.
I don't know what we're getting called by when we go 7-7.
A worse queen, a 10. Right? Someone who doesn't have a spade, or someone who has a spade in their hand with one of those
Right.
cards.
Can he have queen 9 here? Like he doesn't
Sure.
have queen 9 off, right? So
No, but he could have queen 9 of diamonds, hearts, right? He could have 10-9,
I
10
think we're just
jack.
gonna check all here.
Okay. Oh, just a little
Oh.
smaller. Too greedy. And yep, pure block. And he gives up the 5s.
We were targeting that hand too.
Yeah. Well, 5th pair. I mean, what do you want, right?
Hey, wow.
Ooh.
This
Flop
looks like
the
another really fun check raise.
So it looks like another way to lose 100 big blinds. All right.
Yeah,
let's
I like check. Yeah, this is a fun check raise.
Yeah. All right. Well, with this amount of betting, it's definitely going to be an okay check raise. But it goes check, check.
Let us.
All right. Now we know our opponent is protecting their range. They've still got lots of kings and lots of queens out there. But I mean, we have jack high. How are we going to win this hand?
I would think that we get to construct some 2-street bluffing hands here and like,
Okay.
and so like then, and now we can mimic our traps that wanted to get value. So we can like B55 or B83.
Okay.
I'm over betting here in game. So 125 or 200, especially with the jack of diamonds in my hand.
Okay. Planning on bluffing Diamond River.
It depends. Probably.
Okay. My instinct would be to go a little smaller, but let's take a peek. Bigger is better. 200%. Very strong play, Nick. Checking's okay. Yeah, don't want to give your opponent an easy price here. Don't want to let them get the right cost for their draws. But we get called and we river a jack. Oh, is it time to
I think this is a check.
check? Ooh.
We might
Holding
still
the-
bluff this.
Holding the 10, is this a check and then a check raise is a bluff?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good check jam candidate, but I wonder
Yeah.
if we just want to ever blast here. Yeah, we're
Yep.
just blasting. So I mean, we river the jack, so we're blocking river 2 pairs, and we block the straight. So, and he's still kind of capped.
Yeah, I thought it would have checked and if it faces a bet jam, but it just jams right in its face.
I mean, we block 10-9, we block like a bunch of things, ace 10.
Queen 9 holds
Yeah.
off. Very nice. 10-6-5. So we saw 6s and 5s, not particularly good for us. Opponent flats lots of suited connectors here. Not a strong board for our hand. Really high frequency check. All right, we get a good turn card for our range. Not particularly for our hand. Are we just going to try and navigate this ace high to showdown and lose the pocket threes?
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah. Take a
Yeah.
shotgun and hit the solver because it's all a $1.53 EV. Right? The only thing you can do is spew and go all in. All right. Pocket threes. Not looking good. We get here on the river with our best ace high. Ooh. We have kings to bluff catch. We have tens to bluff catch. We have pocket pairs to bluff catch. I don't know that we need to bluff catch ace queen here.
Unblocking spades is good.
Unblocking spades is
Yeah, I
good.
don't think actually it's bad. Sorry, it's bad.
Yeah. He just has a lot of sixes and fives and stuff. It's going for some marginal value. It's yeah. Doesn't really want to call it, wants to raise or fold. 10-9.
It was calling more than raising, right?
Yeah. It was calling more than raising, but both were bad EV options. All right, 8-8-3. We know this eights are high frequency check boards. Does ace four want to check? I think
I'm
so.
just range checking here.
Mhm. This hand wants to bet a lot, though.
That's probably with the three of spades out there.
I don't know. We'll see if there's any check raise. Yeah, 40% leading on this board. I would not have thought so big. Oh, eight's the bottom of our suited range, so we still have some reasonable representation of eights here.
Was it doing it with all the ace fours or I guess probably spades, hearts,
Yeah.
and diamonds, just not clubs.
Facing a 55% pot bet. Do we continue with ace four?
This is a decent bluff raise candidate. We got the wheel ace with backdoor draws.
Okay, 55%.
I think it's. I
think
mean,
we
we're
raise-
probably
raise it
mostly
bigger.
folding, and
Okay.
then some raising.
I mean, does the paired board nature of this reduce our check raise bluff frequency?
We'll take a look at that. Right, we're definitely gonna have some check raises here that I think maybe we want to hold a 9 in our hand a little more, right? Block the suited connectors or a 7.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we want, yeah. And also his sizing is a little bit, maybe a little bit too big for a check raise.
So it is check raising,
That's fine.
but I mean, look at this, zeros all across the board. There's really nothing good you can do with this hand. So we give it the click and get a 3. Well, we don't pick up equity. Things get locked up.
Yeah, I'm definitely checking here.
We
I'd
have
go with like
minutia.
9-10
Yeah.
or 10 jack.
We have a minutia of showdown. The jig is up.
Yep.
Jack 8. So let's take a look at how frequently that flop is getting check raised. And if it's playing from the 9s, blocking the natural 8 hands that he can have. Flop. Over the gun 1.
We get 5%.
Mhm.
Now, what if you
And-
change it to like a super dry board, like a Jack 8-3 or Queen 8-3? Or 2-8-3 or something?
Two of hearts.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I'll get more check raises on a drier board.
Yeah, 15% check raises, and now it's all the upper danglers, the over straights, the wheels, right? Everything's coming in here now. Right? So this paired 8 board is just locking it up too much. Yeah, with the flush draw, it's even less. Right? Only look at that. On the flush draw board, it's 2% raising.
Paired and flush draw. Yeah.
Yeah. Super dangerous. All right. 10-6 deuce. Flush draw board, 10 high. Deuce, good for neither person. 10, good for us. 6, good for him.
Maybe
My
like
instinct-
15 to 20% bets and mostly checks.
yeah, my instinct would be to check almost pure here, right? Lacking a spade in our hand. But
Yeah, it's betting a
50
lot.
50.
And
Yeah.
it's just pure garbage. So if we can get him to fold.
Yeah. He's just going to have some auto folds here. Right? That, yeah. Almost half our range is betting. And when we bet, just folds 20%. And I mean, population's not going to call as wide as solvers will. So
Are we betting more with a spade or without a spade? With our Jack Queen O.
pretty indifferent.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the sizing. Use a bigger sizing when you have a spade.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a bit of a station because I look at this hand and I see 2 overs and a backdoor straight draw.
Yep.
As opposed to no equity.
No,
Well-
it definitely has equity, right? Queen Jack is earning 1.4 chips. It's good.
I mean, there's not really a hand in our range that doesn't have equity, though.
That we open from UTG.
Yeah, like our
Correct
range
position.
just
Yeah, I
has
see your
strong equity. Right? Like our worst hand, pocket threes, is earning 1.29 chips by just playing them here. Right?
So like we get king highs and ace highs to fold when we bet. That's a win.
Yeah, pocket threes is earning more than ace jack here. Savage. All right. So we did take the check line. Here we go.
Do we get to construct a 2-street bluff here?
Definitely get to construct some 2-street bluffs. Are we
So I
gonna
don't
go?
I don't think we get to overbet here. It's not the same as the last board where it was just a brick turn. This completes some equity now. So I think we'll have some like 55 and 83s.
Okay.
Some checks.
Okay. Mostly 55 and 83, a sprinkle of splashiness, and some checks. Very good description of what's happening.
Oh yeah.
Well.
Wow, this is
a good description.
We've got significant implied odds this deep, but we're blocking one of their FDs.
I'm folding.
Yep.
I think out of position we don't get to realize our implied odds here. So I think yes, you're right. Because if you look, the pot odds are ridiculous. It's 35%.
He's like, I have pocket sixes, just get out of my way.
It's 35%, and we're
What a beast.
18% to
Wow.
hit our straight. So, and
like-
our straight outs are dirty on a double paired board.
Yep. He's like, good luck to you in your draws.
Yeah.
I have top pair. All right. So let's take a look at this flop here. And let's do a little comparison here on this flop.
Who finds that like 4x pot bet?
Yeah, I'm not doing.
With top pair garbage kicker. So
Uh,
one of the
I
reasons. Oh,
I don't
sorry,
know
go
if
ahead.
I'm bluffing or value betting when I do that.
One of the reasons why like the deep stack poker is much more cautious by play in general is the idea here of equity realization. And where we could see that we are an equity favorite on this flop, but the ability to realize the equity is going to be something that's difficult deep stacked. And we just saw that with this hand where 2 overs and an open-ended straight draw, and we just had to fold that equity to that huge bot bet for a guy with top pair mid kicker. And so this is an example of equity realization that is going to struggle here. But when we crank it down to 40 big blinds, instead of having 105, oops, 30 big blinds. All right. Equity realization tends to change for the better for us, the shorter stacked we get. Not particularly here, but as we kind of move into this middle range of 40 big blinds, we see this hand still pretty resilient on the equity realization here. But it just gets pretty tough deep stacked with trying to find how we're going to realize our equity in these spots. So I thought that was going to be a good graphic representation because we got pushed off of a hand where we have strong equity, but didn't work out quite that way. All right. Ace 5, 7, 6, 3. This is all in his range for his suited connectors. Very high frequency check. No backdoor flush. But it goes check, check. Are we just going to try and show down ace high, or do we want to try and get splashy here?
Yeah, we've got
Check.
nothing. I guess we get some zero equity bluffs, but I think I mostly check here.
We have a gut shot.
We have a gut shot,
That's a
but
good
like
point.
it's
Yeah,
not
so-
great.
Probe our gutter.
I mean, the only thing that we're really happy with is the 4 of hearts.
bet 83.
83, Saeed. I mean, all right. Let's give it a fight. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah,
I was,
see, that's what
I
I'm
wanted
talking
to,
about.
I was actually gonna say go 125. Like,
Oh.
I actually was gonna say, I was like, you know what, like the straights haven't gotten there yet. There's no completed straight at the moment. Well, actually 8-9, but I
5,
don't
4,
know.
and 8, 9.
Yeah, 5-4 and 8-9.
Yeah, the best hand.
Yeah. All right. We bluffed him out with the best hand. That's what she
I
said.
don't know.
All right.
Oh, well, okay. We could see why. I said 83, but I was like,
I mean, it all looked good on the solver, but I mean, and I'm trying to be more sticky here and more crafty and win more pots, but check fold seemed okay there. He's 5 of clubs on. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I can check fold and look at myself in the mirror tomorrow.
All right.
But
So here, pocket sixes, queen, 10, 8. The magic combo of blocking the most amount of floats with pocket sixes. We're going to get out of line. Maybe this is the one.
I'm not sure if we do, but maybe. No, I mean, it is 2 high cards though, so it does give us that.
Yeah, 2 high cards connected. I mean, Jack nine's already a straight though. It's going to drive down the sizing. Flush draw is going to drive up the sizing. Can we put one
And
in the
he has
66?
he has a lot of jack nines.
Sure, he has all of the suited Jack nines.
But we have all the suited Jack nines too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So that's a even time.
Even so, check it.
So check it. I'm out here
We
splashing
don't want to
around.
get out at a line really, just because we have sixes. I mean, we have 2 undercards.
But I mean, the 6 of clubs and the 6 of diamonds are available. All right, so he gives us
Whoever
the.
came up with that, like, I got amazed when I watched certain professional. Well, I mean, certain like elite players when they're just like, "Yo, this is the reason why the suit." I'm like, really? Wow, I suck.
All right. We have lots of queens to defend with, lots of tens to defend with, lots of eights to defend with, lots of jacks and lots of nines to defend with. Do we need to defend these pocket sixes?
We play next hand.
Okay. I mean,
We
yeah.
play next hand. So he's like,
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, goodness. Ace queen. Look at this guy flatting ace queen suited, protecting his range like that. Savage.
Should be illegal.
Should be illegal.
Kind of like a
All right.
check raise here. I mean, we kind of like the protection of a check raise, and we have backdoor flush opportunities.
Okay. So checking, planning to check raise. It's betting a lot and it's betting bigger. So this might not be too bad. Oh,
Finally,
Here you go.
and that's a
This
bigger
is what you
sizing,
wanted.
which that's a bigger sizing, which is going to reduce our check raise frequency. But it's really fun, so I say check raise.
all right. 33 or 55
Click.
or
55.
120.
Give him the clicks.
55.
55.
All right.
Oh,
Just a click.
That's
Min
a smart click.
Here, 4.7. Let's go. And he folds 5-4. All right.
We denied some equity, but you know, whatever.
Ooh, we would have had a fish on the line who might have bluff caught us on the river. All right. Oh,
Ah, this is an interesting hand.
oh, this is my favorite spot to lose all.
Oh,
all
now
my
you're in
blinds.
my expertise.
This is where we have kings and
Yeah. Oh, he starts immediately with the big bet.
He just barrels it, man.
All right. Have we lost enough money yet, or can we fold?
I don't think we get to fold this yet.
Wow.
How we
It-
do?
65% fold. Oh my
So
god.
if solver folds it most of the time, then human should fold it almost all the time, I think.
Yeah, there is no good card for us on this turn.
I'm folding on the flop, yeah.
Maybe the 10 of hearts.
Check. Pure check. We're earning a lot of chips here. But again, this is gonna be an equity realization spot where we're still ahead a lot here, but when we're behind, we're way behind. All right,
Oh.
finally we get to escape. We lost enough money on the flop. Yeah, like here's the exact problem, right? When we look at it, like we're just ahead a lot here still, but we're just gonna have a hard time realizing equity when this guy shoves river.
Yeah, this is a really good example of the issues with equity realization when you're playing deep out
Yeah.
of position.
Right.
Yeah. Second strongest starting hand, and like it was going out with the bathwater on the flop. Yeah. All right. Solver special. 10-10-4. Ooh, is this a check raise candidate?
Yeah, for sure. Double backdoor and an over. But the paired board
Cool.
might drive that down.
Mm.
It goes check. All right. Is ace high just going to try and get to showdown, or are we going to try and construct the 2-street bluff here? I can't imagine we're going to bluff.
Maybe if we had a spade.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That, yeah, I was about to say, that
There is
reminds me of ace five of club, 83% again.
I think
Yeah.
the important thing for me to see here is that if we do bet, we're polarizing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We only have
Yeah.
big sizings. That's
You
kind
don't-
of like a delayed C bet, right?
Well,
yeah.
when the flop goes check check, or think how big our tens want to go for value, right? It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Mm.
this,
True.
and then it's gonna be this.
We want to mimic our value. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now we just want to try to get.
Mm. Now we
I
check
don't-
and look.
yeah.
Oh, 3%. Yeah.
That's spicy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
We have no calls.
Sometimes I'm calling.
I think I would want to have a spade or would want to have like a queen to block value. Like ace queen with ace queen with the queen of spades, maybe.
We're not blocking anything. I don't think we
Yeah.
get to call here.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a single thing.
Ace.
And
All right, pretty savage. All right, top two. This hand is definitely going to cost us some money, right?
I think we
This
do
is what
a lot of.
Larry
Not a lot,
wants.
but I think we do some checking here because we're blocking all the continues.
Okay.
Except
Why-
for his, obviously he's gonna have some SDs and FDs, but we're
so
also, I think you're right about betting too, because we're really deep. We want to get value.
Hmm.
I like checking here because I might be too obsessed with blocking his value, blocking his
I like
continues.
I like betting because I don't want him to have to. I mean, like I want to charge him for his draws. Like no free cards when we have top two.
Check.
We have a guest here, Galen.
All right.
Oh, look who's here.
He's
I'm,
in
a-
the
I'm
house.
awake. I'm awake, guys.
Welcome
I
to the
know.
party. High
Yeah, I think-
frequency check, low frequency bet.
Yeah, I think blocking his value is a important factor here.
This
All
is
right.
what you want, Larry. Check raise, right?
Oh,
But
well,
yeah, that would be a great check raise.
if we checked, how about this turn?
I think we got to bet.
Flush completes. Is that good for us or bad for us?
Bad.
Really bad.
But I
Bad
mean,
once we
surely
throw it
this
up.
is still a value hand, right?
Mm,
Value
Sure.
small,
Sure.
83.
I make
83.
You want to go
Yeah.
polar here.
I make mistakes here in game. I think I go too big.
Half pot or 33.
Mixing all the
There you go.
sizes. You
Yeah,
can
mixing
definitely
all.
splash around here. Right? Our hand's just kind of resilient with what it is. Give it a little size. All right. Do we double dribble on this river?
Yeah, he's gonna have like Jack Queen sometimes and
I
stuff
think
like that.
I think we can B60.
Okay.
Just still is good enough to go for a little value.
Okay.
I like B60.
I'm check calling.
Okay. So B60 is definitely going to work. What happens if we check? It just checks back. It has a jack. Okay. B60 probably works just fine here too. All right. Oh, here we go. Very nice board. Have a spade. Got ace queen. Are we checking or are we betting?
I think we can do either.
70-30. Check. Bet small.
70-30. Very good. And it goes check, check, and we get not a bad card, not a great card. This is going to be
I would
fish on the
imagine.
line.
You gotta behave a little bit. You can't go too disrespectful here.
I would
But-
be 30 here.
I'm think I'm confident enough maybe to go a little bit larger, having the queen and spade. I don't think B30 is bad though.
Okay.
Yeah, I think either's fine.
Yeah, 55 is probably good. Maybe even 83, blocking all the value.
Yeah, the equity completed here for king, queen, which we block a little bit. So I'm
Like
tempted to
33.
go here.
83. No, no.
Yeah,
A little
still go
spicy.
small. Still small.
Like
Still
that
small.
33.
Oh, 20 or 33.
Yeah, I
Just-
definitely made mistakes here. I don't use these 33 out of position on the turn sizes.
Mhm. Well, I mean, can we go 59 at least?
Oh, I'm going big here. I'm going big here because you beat like all of his raggy tag aces that are gonna chop.
Yeah.
Okay. So like 131 or 300%.
I think anything above 59 is probably an exploit, but I would do like 131 in game.
I'm 59.
Mhm.
Checking.
Yeah, it does a lot of checking.
I don't have a button for 59, so realistically, I'm betting
Ooh.
like
I'm betting like
Alright.
66.
Yeah.
I don't think we get, do we get to check raise? I don't, this deep, we're very deep. I don't think we get to check raise this. I think the value of our top pair is reduced at this stack depth, essentially.
It's pretty easy call,
Click
I
it
think.
back. And it's
Oh.
just kidding.
Yeah, I think this is just a call.
I mean, are we leaving value on the table?
Well, my answer to that would be, we left it on the table when we decided to check.
I agree.
Your call.
Yeah, but look, we caught his bluff, so that's good.
5-5. All right.
5-high like a boss with the solver.
Float that gut shot. All right.
I
Flush
would
draw.
lean. I think I would lean check. I would be more willing to bet like my sevens,
Okay.
maybe fives.
I think it's, yeah.
Here. Check. Yep. We don't have a spade. Oh,
I don't think we get to fold yet with the backdoor straight, but and
I'm
I'm
out.
blocking his FDs. I think we have to call one.
He gave you the old PSB. I'm out of there.
I'm folding, yeah.
we
Oh,
only have
I'm wrong.
half backdoor straights.
I'm the station of the day.
station of the day. All right. King 10. Ooh, poisonous 9.
Yeah, we hit the 9 and go broke.
All right.
Check.
I do a lot of checking here.
I mean, ace big. Uh,
I do a lot of 33s here.
Is this range really good for our out of position range
No,
here?
we're both.
So I'm sorry, is this board really good for our out of position?
yeah. So this is an element of us having full frequency of all the good stuff here and him having partial frequency of all the good stuff here.
Yeah,
He has sets of queens and jacks, but sometimes he 3-bets them.
I would
He
imagine,
he has ace queen, but sometimes he 3-bets it.
right. I
Yeah,
would
Right?
imagine equities run pretty close, although we should have the nut advantage.
Oh,
Well, how do you like this? He says, take a pot bet on this board.
It's
Oh,
easy
we can't-
call.
Yeah,
Easy
we can't
call.
fold.
it. Crying
This is a
call.
call. All right.
You can't fold, right?
Ooh, that's pretty
Yeah,
low EV.
call.
Hmm.
Every
Not
action
calling
is
much
There
worse
we
than this.
go.
All right.
Oh, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Oh, this is where we go broke.
I'm check raising like it's just kidding.
Saeed.
Oh, okay.
So he
Uh,
doesn't have king 10 here,
no.
cuz he would have bet the turn. He shouldn't
10 of hearts.
have. Eh, maybe doubt it. I don't think so.
Yes,
He
queen jack.
he shouldn't have ace queen because he would double. He shouldn't have a ton of ace jack. He could have. I think we have like the effective nuts. Like I want to go huge here.
Oh,
I
He
want like
doesn't-
87.
He doesn't have ace king for like a with bluff catcher with a blocker. I think that 150 is probably too big.
You think?
Yeah.
Does he have king 10 off in his origin range here?
Well,
for sure he does.
Yeah, well, at 100, you think, Pete? You would know better than me.
That last
Yes,
hand,
seven.
yeah, 10.
Yep.
But I always thought you do suited tens and offsuit queens against the under the gun deep.
Yes,
Oh no.
sure.
Not full
Yes.
A
frequency.
little bit of can, yeah.
It's a mix.
Yep.
You can't
I
write
would-
it off.
I would think that he'd be showing up here with like more ace 10 than anything.
I don't know.
This feels blocker to
No.
me.
Wow.
I
I feel
like,
like I feel like you're letting him off the hook if you go blocker.
Yeah, this might be
80
too good. You're right.
87.
I'm
Okay.
But also
going
he's
one.
capped because he checked turn.
Okay, I'm just
Uh,
wrong.
Small bet as well.
Just
Flat out.
wrong. So it's looking to let him raise here, right? Because like, look at how high EV this is. We're trying to induce the raise.
Okay.
So
Right.
Pete, will you look at his raising range?
On this river.
Yeah, I just want to see
Sure.
how realistic that is for like your typical $5-10 game. These are the questions I try to always sort out.
So on this river, if we use the small sizing, say 9%, the blocker bet, give him the maximum amount of check raises possible.
So
Oh.
he's turning queen 10 into a bluff. He's turning jack 10 into a bluff. He's turning jack 8 into bluffs. Okay, so I like block betting a lot more if this is reality. Although I don't think this is reality. I feel like people are gonna be like, okay, I call. I got a pair of tens. I got a
Yeah.
pair of checks.
I think you're more likely to get called than get raised by these combos.
Yeah, not many people are going to find that.
But if they do, I could definitely see why blocker betting would be superior.
Here's part of the problem though. Like they also do raise these. And we're kind of 50-50 here with ace 9, right? We're ahead of queen jack and ace 5, but we're behind ace queen and ace jack.
Which
He
he has
took
a lot of
a
flooding.
he took a check line on the turn though. Does he really play check with ace queen on the turn?
Ace queen, ace jack, ace 10. Let's take a peek at
What's the frequency
Fortunately.
height? Yeah, that's what. Okay,
very,
it's
very
just,
slender.
okay, yeah,
So
okay,
not here
interesting.
very often on this node.
He was also like a flat on the button pre-flop. So, and I know that he did that before, but it makes ace queen at least a little bit less likely, right? With no three bet.
Yeah, you're definitely right, Reiner. People are gonna 3-bet that at some weight.
Yeah, so you should be 3-betting ace queen suited for value, and you should be 3-betting ace queen off as a bluff.
So in that mix between like ace 5, ace queen, queen jack, like we're beating half, losing the half. Maybe that one action kind of nudges us more toward feeling we're a bit safer here.
Well, he has almost full frequency of ace jack, right? He flats both of them at almost full frequency, 3-bets ace 5 primarily.
Right.
Yeah. The only thing that would strip your ace jack is how often does he check ace jack back on the turn?
Pretty infrequently.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
Right?
that's where you'd be strapping that frequency. Yeah, these are the interesting questions. Like I like to try to navigate through.
Okay, so let's give him the most amount of rope to hang himself and check. And he just checks back and has nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. Nothing we can do there. All right.
Ace low.
Yeah. So this is going to fall below his suited connector range. He's going to have some fives. He's going to have some aces. The flush draw is going to make us play more cautiously.
Yep, that's smart.
But this is one of our best value hands here.
Yeah, I still just play check, man. Looking to check raise more than play bet. But I could see this betting. It's probably gonna be a 60-40 split, 70-30 split with small and check. No, just check.
95%.
We face a check.
All right, now I have to start getting value.
I think this is a good card to probably go large. He's gonna have some king, queen, king, jack that might interact with the spades that are gonna have a hard time.
Okay.
He sh-
Think you
he
can
sh-
call a nice big 83% bet.
Yeah, I think 83 makes a lot of sense. We'll see.
One
Even
street big
Whatever
value.
you want.
you can even go larger.
Either way, very happy to find one street of big value here. Flush completing and a chopping ace. Our hand has gotten nerfed to the
Yeah.
thinnest of bluff catchers.
Yeah, I like bluff catching. Give him
Yeah,
a
this is a lot of check call here.
Yeah, like it's still winning a bunch. Because he has to call us here with a lot of kings, but I am never betting this spot.
Yeah, that just looks like you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot too much. Like, you're
Yeah.
just asking him to bluff almost. It's pretty interesting that it wants to use that size.
Yeah, against humans, I don't think the blocker's effective.
Oh my gosh, I'm folding.
He's pushing us off a chop.
Yeah, good game. You did it.
All right. Good fold, good fold.
So
So
you look at the flag Brazilian you call.
no, it was it was the fact that we found the big bet on the turn, which really pruned his range. So he's here with some kings, some aces, some fives, and some flushes, right? And he made the flush draw. He has the straight.
Yeah.
He has ace 10.
Oh, chops us off.
Good on him.
Told ya.
Equity realization in position.
Yeah. And that was one of the things, like when we talked about equity realization deep stack, this is one of the problems, right? Like a hand that should, like, this is the, 30 big blinds, you're all in here, right? There's no equity realization issue, but here it's a big problem. Ooh.
I don't hate small bets. I don't hate small bets here.
This board is super disconnected, right? Yeah. But if you do have a check, like, can queens and jacks fit in that check bucket more than nines and tens?
Well, so my thoughts are, okay, it's gonna be much easier to realize equity with a hand like this on a texture like this by betting it. One, two, you're blocking the combos of kings that he has a lot of, so you're blocking king jacks. Which is one of his most common ones. So like, I do a lot of small betting here.
Yeah,
So I see your point, Gail. And the one question I have is
Mhm.
out of position, how do you sustain the betting across 3 streets with this?
Well, I don't always
With this
bet across
combo.
those streets. Sometimes like, alright, if like a 9 rolls off or like some kind of innocuous card. I just bet small again. Like I just don't ever polarize. It'd be like small, or play check.
Yeah. Yeah, the solver does that sometimes. That makes sense.
Yeah, this is a great card to go small on, I think.
Okay. Give it a double dribble.
Double dribs.
33.
Double dribble. Looking good. Checking's fine.
Checking's not bad, yeah. Definitely not bad.
Oh,
Nuts.
And I'm value betting for the triple dribble.
triple dribbler.
76.
Yeah, I think we polarized.
I
We got
was
the second
a
nuts.
little green.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go a little bit more. The
Little
52.
green.
And now he's just in a bad spot.
There we go.
See,
Probably
this
the
definitely,
maximum value we can get.
absolutely. And you combat the equity realization issues we've been talking about. Like, he's gonna be able just to blow you off your equity on the turn here, on the flop here. Well, probably not on the flop, but on the turn sometimes if he polarizes, it's kind of a nasty spot, right?
So yeah, I'll actually go back here and we'll take a look. Because we're gonna take a look at kind of these streets and see how kings play. Too, because kings are gonna fit in this bucket a lot. Right? So kings are betting the same size as jacks here on the flop when they get called. The turn.
You're probably gonna start polarizing along with your spades.
Yeah. So the jacks were betting small again with the spade. These kings are betting small again too, right? Your best kings start sizing up. Ace, king, king, queen, right? But all the other kings, they're still using a lot of small sizing here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep,
just
let's-
non-polarized turn bets with top pair. And then river. I mean, river is going to be a completely different animal with the last spade coming in, right?
I like how all the sets are, they're betting small.
Yeah. Yeah, jack of spades mixing sizes. But when
Yeah,
you hold a king, you have to check your spade. Except the 10 of spades.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
kind of interesting.
Yeah. You block too many continues
Mm-hmm.
when you have a king. It's bad
In-game
bet.
river, I like going big because some people will call with any flush when the ace hits. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad at all. I would play check here.
Ooh, are you planning to check raise this then?
It's too dynamic. I'm kind of nervous about that.
All right. So if you're not planning on check raising it, would you want to put this into your small bet bucket?
Yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea. Maybe
Oh.
maybe at 33 years,
I like a check raise here.
Little 60-40 action.
a little 60-40 action. Yeah.
Little 60-40, pretty proportional. It's like we have a solver over there. But it goes check, check, and we got a bad turn.
I think we can bet
Completes the straight
small.
and the flush.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Vince. I kind of like going smaller check now. Maybe just check.
I think any button on the top row will do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Well, green means go. Top row, just fine.
That's a good response. He bets,
Okay.
easy call.
We do. Yeah, we're gonna have a call here, but I mean, this is
Yeah, I
really
think-
starting to get into the meat of his range.
Yeah, just pair the
I
board.
think this is 100% call. Yeah.
It's 100% call, but like, here comes the hammer.
Alright, do you ever block?
No, I don't think so. There's too many raises when you block,
Yeah. Yeah, you're
and
just gonna,
we don't defend against the raise.
Okay, phew.
no need, no need. Look at him in there with Jack 10 off.
Check 10 off, spicy. Alright.
This is basically the same. I imagine the same composition is gonna exist here.
Yeah, I like a check
Okay.
raise here.
All right, let's see if we can check raise our opponent. All right, so one thing we have seen is our opponent, when we check, is very cautious too, right? They're protecting
Yeah.
top pair,
Good point.
right? All right.
Yeah, so that's a perfect check raise sizing, right?
Yeah, that's where you get check raise.
All right. So how big are we sinking the hook here?
I think it's more than a click back. I think it's like a B50, raise 55%.
Okay. Just a
Nope.
call.
Just a call arena.
Is
Up there,
oh yeah,
sinking.
it's working. Hello.
Hello, Mr.
Hello.
Whatever.
Hey.
How are you?
If we have a spade, do we have a raise with this combo?
That's what I was
Yeah, I
thinking.
wonder what our
Yes.
global check raise frequency is.
Yeah, I was eating, that's why I wasn't talking for a couple minutes.
No problem.
That I never used Zoom, so I was like, oh, this is all my mom's settings. Let's figure this out.
No worries, no worries. Welcome to the party.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We have
if you have a
surprisingly
spade-
little check raise on this board.
You just have to be very polar here.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not playing tonight, so I saw nobody was in the normal chat because I was gonna rail if anyone was doing anything.
Well, here
Well,
you are.
Monday nights,
Yeah.
we always do range construction work. So
Oh
today we're
boy.
looking 100 big blinds under the gun when you get flatted on the button.
Oh, I see. So we're playing cash games.
Nope. We're playing early levels of tournaments,
Got it.
right? For the non-hyper degens.
So when we get flatted on the button.
Yep. All right. Bad card for our hand, good card for our range.
I will say checking the king jack on the earlier one was surprising to me.
Uh-huh.
I would like
Ah.
literally mindlessly see bet that every single time.
Turn goes check. Do we go for value here?
You know, with
That's
the
straight completing.
yeah, you have the king though.
Mhm.
I don't know how much. Well, yeah, I kind of do want to bet,
I
but
think we get blocker sizing are the B60. I think both of them are okay.
Okay. But like if we had bricked spades here, right? I think I would probably bet this size because I don't really want to bet this size.
Yeah.
so what are we trying to get called by is my only thing.
Worst jacks, maybe heroed by a 9.
The only
Yeah.
worst jacks he really has is like suited jack 8, 2 combos, jack 10 at some vapor frequency. Like he doesn't have very many worse jacks.
Nope. A 9, pocket 10s. Like
At 10-9,
10
maybe.
9.
He bet the
10-9.
jack, check the queen.
Yeah. Well, 10-9 would keep betting. He is
Do you
playing it kind
think
of
you
like a
think
jack.
8s or 7s ever heroes?
Maybe.
I mean, it's super thin, so like I don't see a big bet ever being a thing just for that reason.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like
It's a little smaller.
you're targeting weak hands in a small range of them, so it's like, yeah,
There you go. 10s makes a lot of
Double
sense.
deck of us. All right. Nice thin hunt. All right.
So these are attractive C bets out of
this is all
position.
under the gun +1. Oh, it's all the same positions. I see.
And these are attractive bets out of position because you can get hands like 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s to start folding. So you usually see that reverse hierarchy with betting priority.
Mm.
So we're gonna see primarily betting, occasionally checking is what you're thinking?
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
what he
pretty,
said.
probably gonna be pretty half and half, I would think.
We're pretty close to half and half. Very good. Very nice equity denial, which is a rare thing in deep stack poker.
Hmm.
All right.
We got
King-
like nothing.
Draw heavy board. But the king is the best card for us.
So is this a texture you would see a lot of C betting on? I'm just full frequency checking this in game.
Yeah, probably same.
So the flush draw is going to drive up the sizing and drive down the frequency. So it's probably going to be like range is probably only going to bet like 35% here. But if you have a bet, this is the type of hand that's going to benefit from betting here.
Mm.
Right?
So Pete, it feels similar to the ace-5 of clubs on what I think was a jack-high board.
Yeah.
What would be the difference? Like that last one, it was like I don't know what it was. It was like 15 hands ago, but it was ace-5 of clubs, and it was just a give up. It felt like a give up on the turn, anyways. But
yeah,
what would make this different to be a C bet?
The king high board. The presence of
the king is good is better for our range.
King is the best card for us.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So gonna want to bet at some frequency with this hand.
Yeah, I probably would have just checked too, just
But checking
because
not wrong.
I don't like just airball bluffing out of position that much.
All right, now we're probably just going to try and take ace high to showdown, right? There's a very dangerous board that's going to want to have some polarization. I don't think our hand is going to do it.
I'm with you, Pete.
Although we did pick up the ignorant end of the smallest piece of equity possible.
It's okay to fold once in a while.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see like some 3x pot bets on this type of a texture.
Yeah,
bet 300%. Almost only point minus nothing basically. Yeah. I stuttered.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it's not that bad. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, wow.
So that's pretty good evidence that
the only thing it doesn't like is just jamming.
Well, we got there.
That's what you ask for.
Well,
Yeah.
sort
Alright.
of. Like, how many nines does he have?
So
Mm,
we
a
have
lot.
all kinds of bricked draws here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Pete. Definitely good for a big bet here.
We have hearts that bricked, we have spades that bricked, but our opponent's also gonna have those. I'm wondering if this is gonna be a check jam.
I feel like a 9 would have started trying to bet the turn in his
Probably.
in position. So I don't see him having much 9x ever.
I feel
Well,
like you're getting bluff caught by like tens here every hand, every day of
Yeah.
the week.
I like the check raise. It makes sense.
yeah,
It gets, nope.
okay.
Yeah,
Block.
Flop
I,
doesn't like
Likes
it.
block bet.
I wanted to go actually with the 131.
But there you go, Craig.
Yeah, because
Okay.
oversizing here, like in game, I'm normally getting called, and it's normally not by a 9.
So
Oh, you get called.
Whoa.
This
wow.
is why.
Jesus Christ, Silver.
This is why you wanna go check.
Station.
I'm gonna disagree with the solver on that deuces call.
All right, let's take a peek here.
That'd be like the most instant fish label ever if I saw that in game.
All right,
Can
Oh,
we
sorry.
have him
I
on
just got a
that
question
table?
when you're done this part.
sorry, go ahead, Saeed.
Nothing. Go
Okay,
ahead, Ryan. Reiner.
Renner, what's up?
No, you were gonna explain like the twos call, but then I have a follow-up question once you're done, whatever you're gonna talk about.
Yeah. So I want to take a look at this twos call, right, and see why it's doing this, right? You can see it doesn't want to call with a 5, doesn't want to call with a 7, but for some reason it wants to call with these twos, right? That it's not winning any EV here, right? So this is just a solver that says twos unblock all of the bluffs that our opponent can have in any possible way. So they just don't have blockers to the bluffs, so they like it. But yeah, that is pretty spicy to call that twos.
I'm surprised that it's not even considered that bad, but I mean, I guess this is actual balanced strategy versus actual balanced strategy, so who knows?
Yeah, like you can see calling twos is negative 0.05, calling
nothing.
pocket queens is negative 0.06, right? Twos are a better call than pocket queens here because pocket queens are going to block some of the bluffs that we take this size for.
Yeah,
right?
just
So,
like
we
missed
have-
draws that have queens, right?
Yeah, like we have all these queens here that are bluffing, and we have like the 2 of hearts, 2 of spades is the only 2 that we're bluffing,
Yeah.
right? So we have one combo of twos that bluff, and we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 21, right? We have a pile of queens that are bluffing here. So yeah, go ahead, Renner. You were curious.
Yeah, so someone suggested to sorry, I didn't catch who it was, but to go 131% pot. And it felt like very similar to the very first hand that we looked at tonight. And so we've got a few extra people here. Viv is here, Galen, whatever. I'm curious, in this spot, we bet, so there's 11 chips in the middle, we bet 131%. If it's click back or jam, are we just snap folding, or do we have any calls? Like, I'm just curious what the bluff range would be if we get raised after we go 131% pot.
So we can explore the river node. When we get clicked, 55% fold, 36% call, 8% all in. The all in is going to, of course, be all the nines and no bluffs.
No bluffs. Okay, there we go.
No bluffs. And the calls are sets.
If he had pocket tens in range, it would be pocket tens some of the time because you're double blocking the nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's and then if he jams, like it's just gonna if he jams, we just fold the sets and the ace 4 ignorant end of the straight and just call with our top end straights.
Why does it want to fold queen 9 suited?
Because it loses to 9-10.
It's true. Yeah, I guess that's
Right?
it. That's it.
Yeah, it's a function of what this guy's jamming.
Well, Jack 9 also is losing to 9-10.
It's pretty wild, so, yeah,
Yeah.
basically fold everything if someone clicks you in this spot.
Yeah, like if he clicks you, he's wider. When he jams, he only has queen 9, jack 9, and 10-9.
Hmm.
And so you're chopping with 2 of those and losing with 1. So it just folds the queen 9 when you have it because you block his bluff. Or you block his queen 9 as opposed to his 10-9.
Okay.
So yeah, that is a pretty crazy one.
It
Yep.
seems interesting to me that there's spots where we can go 130% pot and then fold. But it totally makes sense, but we're targeting value from sets and then we're just folding because we're obviously beat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And like when you comb through your database and you look at all of the hands where you call a river raise, you'd be surprised how often the guy has only the nuts.
Yeah, that was a fun exercise. I was doing a while back with Ken,
I mean,
and it was just looking at times I was hero calling rivers in my database, and you just hemorrhage your big blinds per 100. It's embarrassing how much chips you're gonna lose and how infrequently you actually win.
joys of getting check raised on the river in the micros.
Yeah,
All right. So queen 9-4, lots of straight draws, lots of flush draws, top pair, top kicker. Are we going to lead here? Are we going to check? And if we check, are we going to raise?
I like checking. Um, raising is, whoa, raising is probably okay.
But it goes check, check.
That reminds me of 2017 strats, when everyone always checked all the top pairs because they checked everything else anyway, and just called down whatever bets people made.
Let's call when the ace hits. Yeah.
This
All
is,
right. Equity completes. Straights in the house.
it's actually a pretty bad card. I don't think you can get like too crazy here.
Yeah, this looks like a B33.
Yeah,
Yeah.
B55,
Or 55.
B33, I guess.
Anyone want to put this in the double check bucket?
Maybe.
Nah.
Yeah, that's not, yeah, I think that's a fine strat.
Like the problem is when you bet
Some
small like
frequency.
this, like he's just gonna continue. Like he's gonna get the price now to call a lot of draws.
But that's good, right? I mean, we're getting value from drawing.
True, but we're gonna have a hard time on a lot of rivers here,
Okay. Yeah, good point.
right? Like a 5, a 6, a 7 aren't good for us. A spade isn't good for us.
Jack a 10.
An 8, a 9, and a jack at a 10 aren't good for us.
Yeah.
Because we checked the flop, I think there would be some check on the turn.
Okay. Are we willing to say 83 then? Mostly check and occasionally a blast.
So you like the big bet because it will fold out some portion of his draws as well.
Yes, we will polarize
Oh,
this
yeah,
spot.
that's right.
Get-
Solvers like betting huge on boards like this, I think.
Get
think we're-
in the value before equity completes.
I think equity's already completed. I'm not going big here.
I don't know that he checks open-ended though,
Maybe not. Maybe not full
right?
frequency,
Not
but
at full frequency.
Actually, no, you're right. We don't want to bet huge because 10 jack exists.
Okay.
it's okay though. It's in there some.
Yeah, there's a bit.
Oh, when
Right.
I said huge, I meant overbet. It's just because I've seen
Yeah.
cash game players just like always overbet turns that are like really wet.
If it was a 7, you might see some big boy bets.
Maybe
it's like-
maybe less out of position when equity completes on turn.
Been doing
When
those
it's double
turnover
flush
bets.
draw, I was just looking at, wait, no, I was looking at it for a different spot. It depends.
My reaction to that river.
All right. Thin value or thicker value?
Thicker
I think
value.
considering this is a check board, we small bet blocker.
No, I like thicker value.
Uh,
He's littered with 9x here is the problem.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, this is gross.
So are we,
We are.
right?
That sounds
Maybe
crazy, but I'm gonna. I was about to say I'm gonna
It
go
was
148. I
super
swear.
thick. It was super thick value because
That's right.
basically a lot of our bluffs,
Yeah,
we have some bluffs,
I'm doing that on the river
and
for
we have
sure.
nines and
Wow.
queens to support us.
Yeah, I don't play this river correctly.
What do we even get called by?
We get called by him who
Nice
doesn't
check.
believe us, and unblocks our. He's like, oh,
We
I
get-
unblock his bluffs.
yeah.
Oh yeah, motherfucker.
We get called with all the worst queens. We get called with tens, jacks, 8, 7, 6s, like, and we bust the flush draw.
I'm a nit. Jesus Christ, I would fold so many hands to a bet that big.
He just calls us with some nines, right? Like some of his trips don't even raise
Jesus.
us here.
Yeah, yeah.
10-9, 9-7, 9-6, like.
Yeah,
But
I
he
noticed
does.
that a lot in river
Jack
mode.
8 calls. Wow.
Your
Yeah,
I mean,
grips.
because it has the blocker, I get that, but just wow.
Yeah, when you have a jack or a 10, you block the straight, you call with an
Wait.
8.
Ace 8. Wait, it just like calls a bunch of 8x and then check raises. That is wild.
Welcome to Solver World. All right.
What?
Well, it check raises
Nobody
the queen and the
actually
8
plays like
because
this.
it
What the
blocks
fuck?
both the double sets.
Yeah. If you get in the streets and you find yourself in river spots, you're playing against Galen, he's gonna put you in the box here sometimes. He's gonna have some pretty spicy stuff. All right. I'm gonna wrap up the recording. Thanks for checking it out, everyone. We'll be back next week with another deep stack session. And good luck in your games.